Hey readers, welcome back and thanks for downloading this special episode. I am your host, Tamara Ford, and we've got something fun for you today. I'm going to be celebrating 300 episodes on the Shelf Addiction podcast. So this is going to be a different type of episode. We're going to play some calls from the co-host. We're going to listen to a few highlights from some of my favorite episodes from the last 299 shows. And I have a fun giveaway to share. Plus, I am going to tell you a secret at the end of the episode. Okay, it's not really a secret, but really, I just want to make sure I introduce to you the next series that we're reading with the Three Bloggers, one series, Urban Fantasy Read Along, and that is going to be so exciting because I have a special message from the author just for you guys. So don't forget to check that out at the end. So let me tell you a little bit about the podcast. In case you haven't been around since the beginning, you might want to know what's been going on for the last 300 episodes. So the Shelf Addiction podcast launched in April of 2016. Through many episodes filled with book reviews, conversations, and interviews. I'm so happy to have reached this far, and that is a good thing to celebrate. So again, I have some really cool stuff in this episode. I hope you enjoy it, but before we get going, I must say to the Shelf Addiction co-host, thank you. Thank you, ladies, for joining me on this journey. My book chats have become even more fun, and I look forward to them twice a month. Classy, thanks so much for signing on last year to tackle the intriguing and dark world of the thriller genre with me. We get much enjoyment out of talking about all these crazy situations. So thank you again. Thank you for your friendship and for joining me every month for a buddy read. Casey and Nicola, thank you ladies for coming on this exploration of a new series and revisiting our favorites in the fantasy genre. We three really connected over paranormal romance, and who knew how that would bond us. We've been doing the Three Bloggers, one series read along for over 3 years now. You two rock, and I love what you both bring to the discussion every month. Thank you, friends. I appreciate you. Okay, guys, let's jump into things. And first up, the Shelf Addiction podcast co-host would like to say something about 300 episodes.
Congratulations, Tamara. I'm so excited for you reaching this huge milestone for podcasting. 300 episodes. That's amazing. That's just incredible. So congratulations on a well-deserved celebration for that. This is Nicola. You might recognize my voice from the Three Bloggers, One Series podcast, which is my first podcasting and so far only experience. And it's just been so much fun to get together with Tamara and Casey once a month and just talk books. And I also want to say that this podcast has made me a convert. I was not a podcast person before joining this team, and now I have subscriptions to a dozen or so, and it's just been a really fun journey. So thank you for that. And for anybody listening, this is a great podcast if you love books. So play along with us, and look forward to hearing from you guys too.
Thanks, Nicola. I am so excited that you are now a convert like me and you listen to so many podcasts as well as being on the show. Next is Buddy Reads co-host Classy. She was so kind to share a few of her favorite podcast episodes. Check it out.
Hi, Tamara. This is Classy. Congratulations on your 300th podcast. One of my favorite podcasts from you was Tavia Gilbert, your favorite narrator. That was a very fun podcast where you delved into some of her favorite books that she narrated, as well as some of your favorites. And you could just see you were very excited. You could hear, how excited you were during that interview. My second favorite podcast was your review for a nonfiction book of Thick and Other Essays by Tressie McMillan Cotton. That was such a touching podcast. You opened up and I could just hear how touching that book was to you. So keep up the good work, my friend. And again, congratulations on podcast number 300.
Casey from the Three Bloggers One Series show sent in her congratulations, and I am looking forward to the next 300 episodes as well. Thanks, girl.
Congratulations, Tama, for your 300th episode. I'm so proud of you for sticking with it all these years, and I'm so honored that I got to be a part of it for the last 2 years. Congratulations again, and I'm looking forward to another 300 episodes with you.
I must also say thank you to my pop culture co-host, Lisa. In the early days, we did Pop Culture Sunday here on this podcast feed. Anyway, she was the PCS co-host, and she was with me nearly every Sunday for a year. She was a part of these first 300 shows, so thank you to Lisa as well. The show links for the currently running podcast are also below in the show notes. Thank you, Lisa, for doing PCS and now joining me on the other podcast shows to continue talking pop culture. Guess what? It's giveaway time, guys. Now through December 31st, 2019, you can enter to win some fun, bookish podcast swag and even an Amazon electronic gift card. You have to go to shelfaddiction.com/giveaways to enter now. This is international. Don't miss out, guys. Seriously, you can get a t-shirt, stickers, gift cards. What's not to love about that, guys? Seriously. Go enter. You get a free entry. Up next, guys, I'm going to share a few clips from my favorite interviews from the last 299 episodes. So I've got a little bit of everything, and I hope you guys enjoy these clips. And also be sure to let me know on Twitter which were your favorite episodes, who were your favorite interviews. I want to know. So if yours shows up in this clip reel, let me know that we share a favorite episode.
When I get an email from a listening fan who says that some of my work has accompanied them in dark nights of the soul, it's kept them company while they're recovering from an illness or an injury, or while they're at home alone while their spouse goes out for a night shift at their work, that is just as meaningful to me, because I know what it's like to be a listener who is moved by somebody's performance. I love audiobooks and have for years and years. So the fact that I play that role in people's ears and people's hearts means as much to me as anything I've accomplished that has been recognized on an industry level.
Millicent I look at as an extreme version of today's superwoman, what we used to call a superwoman. I don't know if people still say that word, but the wife, the mother, the career woman, the one who's got everything in control and on top of everything. She's the most extreme version of that. She's an uber control freak. She has lots of rules in the household, and that's not even talking about their extracurricular activities. Just the way she runs the household is, somewhere between the military and a drill sergeant. I don't know what it is, but she has a lot of rules, and it's easier kind of just to go along than to fight her on it. So I think the family, even for teenagers, it's easier just to do it, and then they can get out of the room as quickly as possible.
I wanted to have real people who had struggles, but they were still working. They hadn't given up. They weren't dejected. They weren't downtrodden. They were still trying to make their life work. And my main goal is to try and write about romance. I look at a lot of the memes on social media and I get so dejected because it's like men are kind of racing to the bottom. You know what I mean? Like, is this a good date? Mm-hmm. And it's $5 box of chicken and a blanket on. Well, yeah, it could be a date, but that's not a first date. Are you trying to impress this woman, or are you just trying to get her attention?
Oh, yes, I'll be honest. I did not know what I was doing through a lot of it. It was a lot of fake it till you make it kind of attitude. And then I just sort of had like a blind confidence of like, yeah, well, I'm sure my subconscious knows how this works out. I can't wait to see.
Somebody, and I do not remember who, said, you might want to look into the American Foundation for the Blind. They have this talking book thing, and they need actors. And I said, okay. And being a naive, maybe 20-year-old, I called them up literally and said, hey, I hear you use narrators to do and probably didn't even say narrators, and you need people to read these books. And they said, and I'm not exaggerating, well, we have who we need. If you were African American, we might have something, but, and I said, guess what?
Yeah.
I'm African American. And they said, oh, we have a couple of books you might be able to do. And I don't remember auditioning, or I just remember it was a simpler time. They literally had me come in. I did about 6 books back then. They were young adult titles. And so those were the first books.
I think that what it does is it anchors my books to a realistic sense of how a crime is committed and investigated. And although I'm writing very character-driven suspense at this point in my career and not procedurals, what I'm writing right now is very character-driven. It will still have a realistic crime with evidence and a police investigation and often court proceedings.
So those were 6 of my favorite interviews, a combination of narrators and authors from the previous episodes in the last 4.5+ years. And I had so many more I wanted to share, but things were getting a little lengthy, so I had to cut it off at 6. But you guys, I will have links in the show notes for those 6, plus a few other honorable mentions. So now I do want to share with you some of my favorite discussions over those years, some of my favorite 3 bloggers, 1 series comments, and Buddy Reads comments. Let me know which conversations were your favorite. I have to give this clip a small introduction. This was from the read along that Casey Nicola and I love to hate. It was the Realm Enforcer series. You do want to check out these episodes. We had an absolute blast laughing over the characters and the plot. And then this one part, he like I guess she flung her hair, and he compared
it to a horse.
Yes, I'm like, what?
Yes! Oh my God!
A horse?
I screamed out loud at that. I was like, what the
Spirited
fuck?
filly indeed.
Like, what the frickety frack is happening? Like, no. This next clip is from a buddy read that Classy and I did earlier this year. It was our actual first mutual 5 bookmark rating, and that was exciting. You'll definitely want to check out the full episode of A Stranger on the Beach by Michelle Campbell. The lawyer says, "Stop talking. Don't tell me. He keeps talking." I'm like, what is wrong with you, you idiot? What is wrong with you? You have this lawyer telling you to shut your mouth, and you keep talking. She says, do not approach Caroline. What does he do? Caroline, did I do it? Caroline. Oh my God, you idiot. That's what I'm like, what is wrong with him?
Oh God.
It's like
the poor baby, poor Tink Tink was in love. That's his he was in love. That scene right there, Tamara, had me crying. I was like, this poor baby loves her. Who killed him, Carrie? You or me? Which one? And I'm like, oh my God. I did. I had to drop my head. I was just like, oh my God.
Okay, I'm going to share one more from the 3 bloggers, 1 series read along, and that was our return to the Mercy Thompson world. We covered Storm Cursed earlier this year by Patricia Briggs, and we had a long break. We were caught up with the series, and now this was a new release for this year. So we got to return to the world that we love so much, and we had a wonderful time talking about it. It was nice to return to a series that never disappoints. 2 years later. I have not lost momentum for it. None of us have.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the great thing about a good series, is that it's like visiting a place that you know really well and you love, and just go back for a visit and see how everybody's doing.
Oh, I know, right? And it was like, for me, before we even started, I was looking forward to this so badly because I really needed a win. Like, I haven't read a lot of books that I really, really just loved lately. And so I just knew, Like just how a comfort meal will do the trick, or you just know it will work.
You need a
And
sure thing.
yes, and that's what I got. So I was really happy with that.
Agreed. Same here.
Absolutely. Yes.
Last but not least is a fourth discussion clip. And this is actually the very first buddy read that Classy and I did together from 2018. And that was a discussion of the book Broken Things by Lauren Oliver. So definitely be sure to check out that oldie but goodie. And if you like Lauren Oliver, you'll want to hear what we have to say about this title.
Story. So, those first couple of pages, I was in. I was like, I think what was the first line? 5 years ago, we were accused of killing our best friend. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Actually,
let's do this.
When I first started that, I got very strong vibes from Pretty Little Liars. Did you ever watch that show or read the book?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay.
I got the Slender Man when I first got it. I'm like, gosh, this reminds me of another story. And the more I started reading it, I'm like, oh, I remember the Slender Man story?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where the young girls, it was a character in a book called Slender Man. They were at a sleepover, and they said Slender Man told them to kill their friend at the party.
Yeah. Okay, I'm done with the footage for today. I had a great time putting all of this together. Just going back and re-listening to these episodes was good fun for me. Like I really had some laughs and some memories over these conversations and interviews, and it was a nice trip down memory lane for me. And this is just a small snippet of the content available on this podcast. So definitely take a look through the back catalog and see if there's something that may interest you. I've interviewed a lot of authors and narrators, and we've talked about a lot of books. And also there are some shelf bites there where there are 5-minute book reviews. We haven't put one up lately, but shelf bites are coming in strong in 2020. So yeah, that is it for the clips. I hope you enjoyed them. Please let me know what your favorite episode is that you've heard so far. I would love to hear that. I do have a really special announcement also. I have a secret giveaway. Woohoo! So this giveaway is for members of the Facebook group Shelf Addiction Official. And this one is a US only giveaway. Let me tell you what prompted this giveaway. In January 2020, we are doing a new series in the 3 Book Bloggers 1 Series read along. We are going to read the Night Huntress series by Janine Frost, narrated by Tavia Gilbert on audiobook. These two ladies together make a powerhouse of a series. Let me tell you, the 2 main characters, Cat and Bones, from this series are in my top 5 urban fantasy / paranormal romance couples. Plus, I've been really excited to share with you that Janine Frost herself dropped an exclusive bit of audio for you, the listeners of the Shelf Addiction podcast and the members of the Shelf Addiction official Facebook group.
Hi, I'm Janine Frost, and I'm the author of the Night Huntress series, the Night Prince series, the Broken Destiny series, and the new Night Rebel series. And I've been fortunate enough to have my novels hit several bestseller lists. Vampires have always been my favorite paranormal creature since I was probably way too young to know about them. I don't remember doing this, but apparently on my first day of Sunday school, the pastor asked me if I knew what the cross on the wall stood for. I said, yes, that's what keeps the vampires away, which made the pastor laugh, but really humiliated and mortified my parents. So again, I've been a vampire fan for a really long time. But my heroine in the Night Huntress series is not a fan, at least not when readers first meet her. Kat has been raised to believe that all vampires are evil, which causes a lot of internal issues for her since she's half vampire. But she's so entrenched in her beliefs that she spends her free time hunting vampires. At least she does till she tries to take down Bones, a master vampire who forces her to partner with him. And when she's training with Bones to be a better hunter, when she spends time with him, Kat begins to realize that everything she's been taught about vampires and, about the other half of herself isn't true, or at the very least is only part of the story and the reality. In the middle of all of that, and in the middle of them getting swept up trying to bring down a undead cartel, she ends up falling in love with Bones. So the Night Huntress series, especially in the first book in the series, really focuses on discovering the vampire world, not just through Cat's eyes, the way she knows it in the beginning, but actually the way it is. And then it continues the story of Cat and Bones because it is absolutely not over with the first book. They have many, many adventures ahead of them. And the series actually ends up spanning 7.5 novels. So I'm so flattered that you've decided to take a chance on these books, and I really hope you love them.
Now here's the giveaway, also brought to you by the author. Thank you so much, Janine. I know everyone is going to love this giveaway. You want to know about this. If you're going to read along with us, if you're curious about these books, you want to enter. There is a raffle copter inside of the Facebook group Shelf Addiction Official. There will be 3 winners. Each of the 3 winners can win a set of this series, all 7 titles, courtesy of the author, Janine Frost. Again, this is US only. This is a digital giveaway. So you will be able to choose if you want the ebooks of the series or if you want the audiobook MP3 downloads of the series. So get excited, guys. You can get the whole series in time to start with us in January. Again, the only rule is that you must be in the Shelf Addiction Official Facebook group, and that link is below in the show notes. So I'm going to end things here. Thank you so much for tuning into this special episode of the Shelf Addiction Podcast and spending your time celebrating with me by listening to some clips, and definitely enter these giveaways. You have some awesome prizes on the table that you don't want to miss out on. So I will catch you in the next episode. And until then, happy reading and happy listening. Take care, everybody. If you enjoyed today's book chat episode and would like to show your support, there are a few things you can do. Head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a positive 5-star review. You can follow me on Twitter at Shelf Addiction. Most importantly, you can share this podcast with friends and family that enjoy all things bookish, including author interviews. Thank you for listening, and until next time, happy reading.